Hello, everybody. My name is Nobantu Mpedlana, and I will be your MC for today. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your week. It was amazing being here with you guys last week. Now, before we start, I would like to welcome each and every single person who has joined us for today's session. I would like to welcome the Dynamics. Hi, guys. I would like to welcome the HLF family, the Delta group from all around the globe. Thank you very much for being here. Now, before we start, I would like us to go through the housekeeping rules. Number one, always remember to carry around a notebook and a pen because a leader always takes notes, right? And ensure your gadget is on mute, guys. We do not want to hear all the other noises as we disturb the session. No, thank you. We just want to smooth sail, right? And in case you're leaving the meeting, please remember to switch off your camera. It's okay if you have it on, but remember to switch it off in the meeting. Please use the chat box for the comments. Continue to use the chat box for the comments, and do not forget any questions you might have in the session in the comment box, in the chat box. Yes. At this juncture, I would like to invite Faith to lead us in prayer at this beautiful, beautiful session. Praise.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear and see me? Hi, Nobantu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's nice to be on this session of Young and Dynamic platform, and it's such an honor for me to lead you in this prayer session that we're about to have. So my name is Faith, and I'm going to be leading you for the next 3 to 5 minutes in our prayer session. So our reading today, it's coming from, before we get to our reading, I just want to wish every woman logged on this platform, Happy Women's Day to every woman who's logged on, and you're so special and you're amazing. I hope you enjoyed your days yesterday. So today we are reading from Joshua 1, verse 9, and it reads, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." I'll take that again. "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." So this verse, it's a command. So the Lord is commanding us to be strong and to be courageous and not to be afraid, for he is with us wherever we go. So we just want to pray for the next 2 minutes, to pray for courage to leave our comfort zones. You know, so many times you're afraid to leave certain situations because you do not know how you're going to be provided for in the next segment of your life that you want to move into. So we just want to pray for that courage that is being talked about in Joshua 1 verse 9. And we also want to pray for the courage to do the right thing. The right thing is the courage to obey God's commandments, the courage to emulate the fruits of the Holy Spirit, the courage to be kind, to be patient with the people around us, and the courage to save others in our workplaces, in our schools, at home. So we just pray for the next 3 to 5 minutes. I'll lead you in prayer, and you guys can pray from wherever you are. So I'll pray. So dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this Young and Dynamic session that you've given us. We want to thank you for the scripture that we've just heard from Joshua 1 verse 9, where it tells us to be strong and courageous, to not be afraid or discouraged, for you are with us wherever we go. So we want to pray that we'd have the courage to leave our comfort zones. We want to pray that we'd have the courage to explore and to do greater things in this life that would not be limited by fear, but that would just continuously trust in you, that you are with us wherever we go. We also want to pray that would continuously do the right thing, that would emulate that would live by the fruits of the Holy Spirit, that would have joy, that would have patience, that would be kind and loving to each and every person around us. And we also want to pray for the spirit of serving wherever that we are. We want to pray that would save for people who are under the scholarship. We want to pray that would save in our areas of influence in the scholarship. We want to pray for saving in our areas in our workplaces. We want to pray that we'd serve even at school. We want to pray that we'd serve even at home. We want to serve our parents. We want to serve our siblings. We want to serve our friends and all the people around us. We also want to pray that we'd continuously lean on you and not trust on human nature. So we just pray that would not be afraid, that would be courageous, and that as the rest of the session goes on, that you're going to be in this place and that you're going to give courage to each and every person who's going to partake and serve in the session. In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, I pray for all of this. Amen. So thank you, guys. I'll hand over the platform to our MC, Nobantu. Over to you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful time of prayer. We appreciate it so much. Now, today we are going to be celebrating Women's Day. Yesterday was International Women's Day, but we will be celebrating it today, right? Yeah. So the theme for this year's Women's Day is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, right? Just invest in women. There's a quote that says, where there's a woman, there's a way. I would like to invite our guest for today, Miss Sikelo Dube. Drum roll. Miss Sikelo Dube is a Mandela Washington Fellowship. She's a young leader championing girl empowerment and entrepreneurship in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, that is STEM. She is a Zimbabwe science ambassador and an award-winning science entrepreneur. She's the founder of LEC Bird Biotech, the company she started when she was only at the young age of 23. She is passionate about empowering the girl child, and she started an organization called LEA Trust. Ms. Dube holds an MBA at the University of Gloucestershire. Sorry, the pronunciation is just it's difficult. But she holds an MBA from the University of Gloucestershire. She has an MSc in applied microbiology and biotechnology, and she holds a PDM in HIV and AIDS from the University of Stellenbosch. This is an amazing, amazing, phenomenal woman. And I am so grateful, and I am sure that each and every single person who's connected here is glad we will be graced by women's powerful, powerful, powerful women on this Women's Day celebration. Will be graced by her presence. Ms. Dube, I would like to invite you in. Hi, Ms. Dube. Okay, seems Ms. Dube might have a bit of problem. We would like to discuss alleviating, what are we doing? Investing in women. I would like, sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Nobantu. I don't think she's logged in. Can we just carry on with the discussion?
No problem. Okay, guys, I would like to invite in some three beautiful, beautiful people. I would like to invite Faith, Charity, and Praise to help me out in discussing this beautiful Women's Day. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi, Nobantu.
How are you?
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. It's Faith is here.
So
Yes,
we're going to be, yeah.
Okay. So my name is Charity Lebre, and good afternoon to all ladies and gentlemen in this session. Welcome to yet another exciting session of the Young and Dynamic, and we're all excited to have you in this place. Nobantu, I want to say you look great. Hey, happy Women's Day. Hey.
Thank you.
Okay. So our discussion today, we're going to include everyone in the platform, or the people we're going to, if you want to participate, just raise your hand so that we can unmute you, and you can also join in the discussion. So firstly, we're going to talk about education. I introduce myself. My name is Charity Debwe again. So I'm doing a bachelor's degree in mechatronics engineering at University of Technology. I've noted, not in my generation, of course, and not anyone here besides the older ones. Yeah. But I'm saying in the past, the girl child were not allowed to have education. If there is something important that needs to be done with money, maybe in the family, the girl child would be put off academic privileges, So I'm grateful because now I can do engineering. It's something that was not done in the past. Like now I'm on attachment. I've learned that even in the workshop, the restrooms for women are not there. They only have for males, because in the past, like there was no women in the workshop. So this means we as women, we are being given chances, and we are also taking the chances, So I'm going to pose this question to Faith. How do you view education and how it's impacting the world through women? Because today we're going to be celebrating women, hey? So how is education impacting women's life, and how is it changing the world? How is it encouraging the women around you? How is it also encouraging you? Faith, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Charity. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, can you all clearly hear me? Confirm?
I can hear you.
Yes.
All right. So I'll briefly talk about what it means investing in women education for me. So I'll reintroduce myself. My name is Faith Lakama. I'm currently a final year medical student at the University of Zimbabwe. I'm a second born in a family of 4 girls. So you can imagine what it means, how much Women's Day means to me. So investing in women's education is part of what investing in women means to me. So I've been a beneficiary of the foundation since 2017, after I did exceedingly well in my O levels. So being a beneficiary of the foundation since 2017 has really impacted me, and it means so much for me that the society has seen that it's important for us to invest in women. And it's also become a huge thing for me, because since then, becoming a medical student and getting into the wards, I've been able to see more women are doing medicine, coming to the medical school. Like I can give the instance in our class, there's more ladies, there's an opportunity, actually an equal opportunity, if not having more ladies doing being medical students. And I've also noted from our surgical rotations going to the wards, I see more women embarking in surgical specialties. We see orthopedic surgeons, we see neurosurgeons, which is something that we did not used to see in the past. So this has been a positive impact that I've been seeing that has been made in the education society, as well as in our health sector, where women are being invested in. So I think that's what this is a personal view for me in what investing in women means for me in terms of what I'm living and how I'm seeing things around me. So I would want to give the platform to Nobantu and see if she has something that she would want to add in terms of what investing in women means in terms of education, also maybe in the health sector, but particularly in terms of education.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the insightful point. Well, as I introduce myself, my name is Nobantu Mqedlana. I am an only girl in a family of boys. And believe me, Women's Day is a big, big deal for me. I am a sociology graduated last year at the age of 22. So yeah, education in the developing countries, something that I have, for the most part, seen or observed, is that education for girls in developing countries is not taken as seriously as it is in developed countries. which is quite sad. It's a sad reality because you realize that a lot of people, especially in rural areas, are still held back by patriarchy, and it is our responsibility to take them out of that dark place and just shed light and enlighten them more and more on the importance of education as a girl. Because as you can see, a lot of people in the developing countries, they continue to grow up these girls in the ideology that they shall get married and etc. etc. But I believe as dynamite, but our task here is to actually make sure that these girls are enlightened more and more on the idea of education being important and actually being in their lives. Thank you very much. I can see the notifications. My team just told me that Miss Sipelo is in the house. Miss Sipelo is in the house. Miss Sipelo, thank you very much for joining us. Over to you, ma'am. Miss Sipelo.
Hello, I'm really excited to be here. My network is not good, but just to start off by saying a belated happy
Thank you very much.
International Day for Women to all of us. And the network is breaking. And this year has been declared the year for the era for women in leadership. So we're really excited. And what more about women in science, technology, engineering, and maths, STEM education, which is at the fore here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Looks like Miss Sipelo's network might have a problem. Okay, moving on back to praise or charity or faith. I would like you guys to tell me what is your insight on the idea of the entire concept of spirituality? How do you grow men in the spiritual world?
Sorry, Nobantu, can you take that again? We did not quite hear you clearly.
Okay. My question, how do you think the world could be more accommodating in terms of religion and spirituality? Women can be empowered more and more to grow in a spiritual aspect.
All right. Just to make sure I heard you correctly, let me take back the question. You said, how do you think the world can accommodate women more in the religious and spiritual sector?
Yes.
Okay. So I think, well, I'll speak from my personal experience. So I'm currently the chairperson for the youth group in our church in Glenview. I attend Faith Ministries Glenview. So I think that's part of the implementation that can be done to include women more in the spiritual sector. So I think because of that, we usually, like in the recent years, we never really had a lady chairperson. And then I got to join the church around 2016. Part of what I did was I was more proactive. I would be there trying to serve and doing whatever I can to make sure that I'm serving in the house of the Lord. So part of my responsibilities as I joined the church was doing the projection. So I'll do the projection, Bible verse projection. When the preacher is preaching, I'll project. Then after that, I got I got to that ministry where if we have a youth who has joined the church who is new, I'll be there to try and get the youth to be included into the church and all of that. So I think participating in all of those things was one of the things that made the current chairperson was there to notice that it's actually possible to include a girl, and the girl can become a chairperson for a youth group. So I've been serving as the chairperson for the youth group, and I must say it has been an amazing journey. So I think it's also on the side of us ladies, before we can be included into the leadership in church, you also have to be out there showing that you're also able to serve and do things that also the men are doing in church, like projecting. For us in church, projecting in church is usually the boys thing. When I got to church, it was a boys thing. So I was there among the boys, projecting and doing all of those things. So I think you must also be in a position to also serve first before you can get that recognition and also be included in the system. That's my take on that.
That is a very, very interesting take. And congratulations. Congratulations on being the youth leader. That is a big, big, big achievement. Okay, I would like to move on to Miss Charity. Miss Charity? Or is it just you? Miss Charity.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Yes. Okay, thank you. And congratulations to Faith. I think also before anything else, before the world starts including us as women, we also need to support each other, you know. We also need to be there for each other. We also need to grow from like that transformation by renewal of the mind. Like we need to also renew our mind so that when opportunities come, we are ready to take them mentally. Because I know we have been raised in societies where we just been low. We've not been seen. We've not been expected in certain places. We've been limited to do certain things, you know. But as women, we also, as a person, change the way you see things, grow up, level up as well. Like be in the right place at the right time, doing the right things, you know. Because sometimes it will also take a lot for the world to adjust us into certain things, because we as women, we haven't changed. We are not ready to accept. We're not ready to take positions. We're not ready to change our minds. We're not ready to be transformed, to be renewed. So I think that verse that talks about transformation by the renewal of the mind should be taken personally, you know. So religiously, I think I grew up thinking that women could not preach, you know. So sometimes I could just leave it to men and not actually talk about Christ. And I thought maybe it's a men's thing, it's a pastor's thing. And you always see pastors as men, eh? So you're thinking, maybe when I say it, people will not accept it. And also, because the society is not changed yet, you know, we also need to use wisdom in the way that we talk as a women, because it's not yet there, but it's a transformation. So as women, we also should not push it, you know. We need to know how we present ourselves, because the society, to be honest, as far as they want to, they're not there, you know. Like they don't accept other things because it's a woman, you know. You can't speak when men are there and you're part of the family. Even if you're older than all the people there, you're still women, you know. Like even if you think what they are doing is wrong, you just need to shut up. So religiously as well, we shouldn't take it like now because we're talking about religious thing, people should just accept. They also haven't been changed in their mind. So I think I started learning how to approach people, how to speak correctly, how to actually study how people see people, you know, like how people see women. As far as other guys other men see things differently, others also don't see it the same. So I think we as women should also learn that, so that we fasten the process, because we are we're putting each other in each other's shoes, you know. Maybe let's take, for example, you've grown in a house where they don't wear trousers, right? So I can't preach to someone who don't wear trousers in their family wearing a trouser, because now they have a different perspective of everything, right? Like they're not yet there, you know. So I think as women also to fasten the process, because it's a process, and let's not force people to get there. Let's take them step by step. So I understood that. I learned to wear properly, modestly, not just for people, but for myself. Because you know how now you fight because women are not allowed to wear such and such. I got in peace with that. That it's fine. People are still, you know, they're taking it step by step. It's not wrong for me to wear this, but this person is not ready for that. And if they're going to come to Christ, I need to wear something that I understand. I need to speak the same language. I need to give the same vibe, you know. So yes, I also if I don't know, if we have time, we could also, any guy who would want to add to religions and women and how the society is accepting women and how they are seeing every woman, like how they are changing. What's your perspective of the society and women? Anyone, any guy from the participants here? You know, if you see any hands, then please. Anyone who wants to add to how the society see women. Yeah.
There's a hand.
Okay, you can make them in. And if you have questions, please also put them in the chat box. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Have you unmute them? No.
I can't. Please do it.
Who has their hands raised up? Please, who has their hands raised up?
I think you
Anyone?
ladies can continue with the discussion, and then when whoever's hand was up, they can be unmuted. Okay, there's Tabanso's hand. Can you please unmute?
Tabanso, you can unmute. Thank you. Okay. Tabanso, we can't hear you. Can you unmute? No. Can you hear Tabanso? Okay, he's connecting to audio.
I think we should continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on whilst Tabanso is connecting his audio. So the other topic that we've been discussing, is the fact that the society is not, well, I said the society is not ready, right? Oh no. Okay, Tabanso is unmuted. You
Okay.
can speak, Tabanso.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
It's not fun. So my question was on
Okay, Tabanto, can you just, there is too much background noise where you are. Thank you. As you fix that. Okay, let's continue. No. We're discussing about how the society
Yeah.
sees women, you know. You know how I was saying, once a woman gets pregnant, it's over for us. Like, no life,
You
no
know?
goals, no dreams, nothing, right? Now, I don't know, like it's something that we haven't looked at yet. I know there are programs, there are companies or organizations that have been trying to fix that. But the guys the boys, yeah, can also agree with me. You have cousins, you have sisters who, when they got pregnant, their life was over. Everyone saw them as a nuisance, but hey, there's nothing they can do about, because the child now is mine. But I'm not dead. Okay, like the dreams that I had 9 months ago before I had this child are the dreams that I also have now. But because the whole community is no longer here for me, you know, like they shut you out. It's like you're done for. It's over, right? But I'm saying, if only the society could change the way they see all these things, I feel like the world could change. Because if, okay, let's say on a scale of 15 people that I've met the past 5 years, let's say 10 of them have children, right? Now it's over for them. You guys have classmates that have been in those situations. You have cousins, you have family members. Maybe it's also in your house, you know. But I think, if as a society, if we could educate the society, I don't know how, because I'm a girl and I don't know how other people see it. Maybe sometimes you feel like you're being biased, you know. But I also think there's something that can be done, no, on how life doesn't stop the moment I have a child as a woman. My goals still continue. I'm still alive. I'm still that, because people are having children 15 years, 16 years, yeah. They're still young. They still have life, right? So my question is, how can we also, to the people, the participants, everyone, how can we help the society? The society means me, it means you, it means everyone else, right? It's not a stature, it's people in a society. So I'm saying, how can we help the society? How can we educate? What can we do so that the girl child is not stopped the moment they have a child? Their life doesn't stop. Their goals, their dreams, their other of them are academically smart, hey, and it's so painful that their life just stops there. No, what do you think we can do? And if there's anyone in the participants and the chat box who has anything to say, just raise your hand. No, what do you think we can do about that as a society, so that the girls' lives do continue, their dreams, their goals, you know?
Well, yeah, everyone in the chat box is open to comment. But just adding on to your point and to answer this, I believe that as the society, we could try and understand more that having a child is not a downfall. Having a child is not something that holds somebody's life to progress. You understand? It's like, in this current society that is still held back by patriarchy so much, we are still having equality that a girl is supposed to get attached. It doesn't work like that anymore. I feel like progress should allow students to progress. And the only people who is the same is the whereas when you enter the highest and shift away that women are taken, men are taken for granted right now. If we take this stand, for example, I believe you could have clinics which help. Well, they're already existing, but they're not they're not enough. Clinics that help adolescents and through the entire stage of pregnancy and all of that, and just enlightening them on protect themselves from everything. Also, I believe that the schools should have a system that is incorporated that helps all these other kids who find themselves in situations where they're pregnant and they're still in school. How do we accommodate all of this? How do we have them be a part of the society? How do we not shun them? How do we support them? Because whether we like it or not, we are trying to rather fix damage that is already done. Try our level best to educate the adolescents, but as you realize, as you grow, as you reach more, you realize that a lot of these people, a lot of these minds that shall be renewed, as one of the people in my team mentioned, only way to renew a person is starting with their mind. And the way that we can renew the minds of these women and society, and shifting from this type of patriarchy, is by starting with the kids, with the children, raising a boy and a girl and a man, raising a girl to believe that they too can achieve the big things in the world. I believe we start there. We just make I would like to pass on. What do you think? What do you think?
You know, I think it's best. I think men have to be involved in this conversation. I know Miss O is going to punish me after this, but the conversation is getting heated. The men need to be involved in this conversation. And I like what you two are bringing up, especially Charity. You know, you started talking about social status of women and girls, especially the young girls, because we know the challenges that we are facing. And even Nobantu, you even know this better, given the country where you are coming from, Lesotho. Teenage pregnancy are rampant. It's a day-to-day thing that we come across. Each and every one of us here, we do know a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 19-year-old, even a 20-year-old who has found themselves pregnant. And from then on, I mean, the potential that they had, if it was at 40%, it went down all the way to zero. If it was on 100%, it went all the way to 20%. Why? Because of this, like you have mentioned, Nobantu, it's how we are framed in our mind. And the question that keeps coming to me as Nobantu and Charity were speaking is, how do we get the information to where we need to get it to? Because Nobantu mentioned something very critical and important, that if we are going to change our actions, we have to change our knowledge. If we change our knowledge, we change the way we speak, we change the way we act. Very important and very crucial. And this is where I just want to highlight to every dynamite who is here. First and foremost, it starts with you and it starts with me. What are your views when it comes to women and girls, to all the boys that are here? What are your views towards women and girls? Do you see them as your mates, as your equals, or you look at them as people who are under you, people who are there to save us, as the patriarchal society detects? How do you view your classmates? How do you view your sisters? How do you view your female friends? How do you view? What is your attitude and what is your thought lines when you're thinking about women and when you are relating to them, when you are in a friendship with them? How do you relate with them? What's your attitude towards the women? Let's start from there. If your attitude is not good, you certainly need to get some knowledge in your head, because you are honestly still living in the 1950s, 1960s, and the world has changed. So you need to come to 2024. You need to come to 2024. And then the second level of it, the first level is individual. It's individual. Let's start from there. The second level is we do have platforms that we have set. We have young and dynamic clubs that we have set in every institutions and in every institution that we are in. And you guys are doing an amazing, phenomenal job. So I'm looking forward for HIT to send us the report of what they've been doing. And I think it's Midlands as well. You have been posting on the WhatsApp group with the amazing work that you have been doing. But I would like us to take a step further, especially in a week like this where we are celebrating women. Let us focus more on informing the people that are around us, not only about what is happening in as far as celebrating women is concerned, but giving them information that they need, which they require for them to be able to change their mindset, which informs their words, which informs their actions and attitudes towards women. So instead of doing cleanup campaign every other weekend or every time you go out for community engagements, let's do awareness campaign where we go to your nearest neighborhood from our school, and we have designed some flyers. We have some write-ups. It might be just even on MS Word, and you go out distributing it. It can be facts about women, right? Did you know that the first I'm forgetting the name, the first vehicle. Did you know that Polo One? Yes, that's what I wanted to get to. Did you know that Polo One was guided by Black women to go to the moon and back? Basic things like that. Did you know the role that women played in making of the first computer? We can write all those facts down about the amazing things that women have done throughout history, including in our own country. These are basic things that we can find on YouTube. We can find them on Google. The inventions that were done by women, the innovations that were done by women, we can write those things down and we can go ahead and distribute to the neighbors that are around us. It can be the first level of doing, of creating awareness and giving information to the people around us. It might not seem like we are doing anything much, but with time, as people think about this, as people meditate on it, people are going to change their mindset and they are going to change their thought process around that. So before we move to education, and we already talked about education, have we already talked about health, Nobantu, and agriculture? Maybe we can hear again from Sidrin as we move on with the discussion. Sidrin, we are sure.
Thank you very much.
Afternoon, Pastor Mnashe.
Good afternoon, Sidrin. You can go ahead.
Okay, it's been quite an interesting discussion and learning about all the things. And mine is not a question, but it's a contribution. So we could talk all about women empowerment and patriarchy, but however, I do feel like there's a bigger fight between women and women than there is now between men and women, because of probably like jealousy and backbiting, and also a lot of stepping on each other to get to the top. A lot of body shaming and pulling down comes from fellow women more than men. So we can advocate for, investing in women, but I think we need to invest in good female relationships so that progress can accelerate. So on my end, I think we should call upon all women to be a sister's keeper and to fix each other's crown, because most of the fights, even in corporate, it's women against women, and we see a lot of men supporting each other, but when it comes to women, it's a different story.
That one I won't be involved. Nobantu, what are your thoughts? This one I'll leave it for the women.
sir. Thank you very much, Pastor Munashe. I believe she's right. A lot of women, they are each other as compared to the that is against the males just in class. Right now, a lot of that is a lot of stuff about feminism is actually still outside. So I get what she's trying to say. I get what she means. I think to start women, uh, starting assist, start not being down and just supporting each other, because it's funny how a lot of women will see, like one woman will see another woman walking by and they look very pretty and dressed really well. Instead of complimenting the person, they always find something wrong to say, which is where it actually starts. It just starts from that little, it's the small thing. So if we start to eradicate the small things and just focus on just bit by bit, step by step, I believe we'll get to the finish line. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing here is, how can we fix each other's crowns as queens, isn't it? How can we fix each other's
Yes, sir.
crowns as queens? So it starts with you women. It starts with you women. We are here to support you in this journey. We do have Rekai Tangwena here, who'd also want to share his thoughts with us as we move on to the next topic on this. Fadzana is saying it's difficult. What's difficult about fixing another woman's crown? Go ahead, Rekai. Rekai, please go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Hello? Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My contribution is just like the discussion which was happening. It is, how can we bridge the gap between the women in the rural areas and those in urban areas? And also, if we look at the girls in boarding schools and also in day schools, we can see that there is a lot of the body shaming, the differences. How can we bridge the gap between that?
Right. And this is a conversation that we are all having. How do we bridge the gap between the women in the urban areas and the women in the rural areas? And the assumption there is women in the urban areas, they have access to all of these things that we are talking about. They have better access compared to the women that are in the rural areas. So our thinking there then should be, when it comes to business, when it comes to social impact funding and investment, how do we balance the two, including our community engagement is young and dynamic. And I've seen that most of them we have been doing them in the urban areas. How can we ensure that there is that balance? Information is out there. Let's look for that information and let's get involved and engaged. I can see Miss O has also her hand up.
Okay, thank you, Pastor Munashe, and thank you so much for that. Is such an important question. But I think to bridge the gap between rural and urban women, I think we need to focus on initiatives that promote inclusivity and equal opportunities. I think Higher Life Foundation is one of the organizations that do that. When we are recruiting for scholarships, we go to all the ends of Zimbabwe, the rural areas, the urban, and we recruit people from urban areas. So I think that's the best way. And when you take a woman or a girl from a rural area, you know that for a fact that rural area is never going to be the same. Because once you empower a woman, you empower a whole generation, you empower a whole village. So I think programs that improve inclusivity and equal opportunities. It doesn't mean that if someone is in the rural areas, they are not smart. You know, sometimes you cannot choose where you're born. You cannot choose your family. So I think it's important to provide equal opportunities as much as we can. And Pastor Munasha has already mentioned this. We should implement programs for skills development, you know, access to education and healthcare in rural areas. You know, just information, sharing information. All of us have a rural home. During the holiday or whenever you visit, just sitting, having conversations with your grandparents, you know, just sitting and having conversations with your friends in the rural areas, you know, just skills development. Sometimes people think we have to do a workshop, we have to do all this. Sometimes just having a conversation, words can impact someone who you think, you know, they're in the rural areas, their life cannot change. And I think also like mentorship programs. I think it's important for all of us as young people to mentor somebody from your village, somebody from back home, and also, you know, knowledge sharing platforms. For example, Young and Dynamic. This is a knowledge sharing platform. You know, it's empowering women, it's empowering young girls, just learning how to log onto Zoom. That is very empowering. You know, you're getting to know how to use technology. You know, now you know that you need a computer, how to log on, how to go onto Zoom, all that stuff. So those are the kind of things that we need to keep improving. People might think that, you know, you need to do big things. You need to go to Silicon Valley and then come back. African solutions for African problems. Y&D addresses African problems to African, you know, so thank you.
Amazing, amazing. And I like how you have really broken this down to actionables, the things that we can do. Don't wait to become a doctor in philosophy for you to go back and impart knowledge in your community. With your grade 7, with your form 4, with your form 6, with your first degree, your first year or second year, what information can you share with fellow women in the rural areas? That's amazing. Thank you very much, Miss O. Yes, Charity.
Okay, thank you, Pastor Munashe. I think also I'll add to that. I think also we should also note that we are fighting something that has been there forever. Like it needs to take a process. Women are shaming other women not because it's something that they get in 2 minutes. It's something they're getting from their moms, their grandmothers. Like all women have been growing into that. So healing needs to start from the root. You know, how my mom raised me, how your mom raised her is how I'm going to be raised. So before we start saying women hate each other, we've been raised in situations where we were not accepted. So the moment we start being accepted, we think it's everything. And I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but I'm saying it's not, if I'm being jealous with you, know that it's not coming from me. It's coming from the root. I'm appreciating things that I didn't have before. Because I'm not going to be worried about you drinking my water if I've always had water before. I'm not going to be worried with you wearing dresses if I know dresses can be worn. So I'm saying it all needs to start. Don't only educate the younger women, educate also the older women so that they can teach the younger women. So my mom will tell me how to appreciate others. My mom will tell me how to honor others, to also empower others, because we don't know that. We think if we are empowered, then it's me. But, you know, even on those, you've seen women gathered talking about stuff. They're just talking about negative stuff because that's how they've been raised. They think someone wearing, it's just maybe 10 years behind that people started accepting makeup, because now it becomes, but back then there are also people that even don't understand makeup. They call it something else, not because they actually think it's that, it's because they've been raised thinking it's that. So my point is, let's work on ourselves, because you think someone is being jealous of you. Maybe it's you who's saying that. So before we look at anyone else, let's look if what I'm doing is okay. If what I've said before, be renewed by the transformation of your mind. Like, grow up from that, because it's still there. That stone age thinking, it's still there, and it's also in me. There's some parts of that stone age thinking in me, because my mom had it. My gogo is still alive. She's still installing that in me. So if I see you doing something that my gogo said it's not okay, now I don't think you're okay. I don't think you are, you're one of those. So I'm saying, as a person, level up. AI everything about your brain. Grow up with time. So that not me being jealous of you or you being jealous of me. I know it's normal. I know it's okay. I know you deserve it. I know you work to get things. I know you deserve, because women have been thinking you need favors to go up. So that's why they're jealous of each other, because they think you need someone to look at you so that maybe they can think you are able. They don't believe that themselves, that I am able. I need you, Pastor Mnache, to actually say, Charity, you look good in glasses. So now, because you're short, I need to be able to understand that it's okay. What I see in the mirror is me before anyone else. I think that's where the jealous comes out, where the strive, because it's the root, it's where we are coming from, it's what we have told our minds, it's what we've implanted into our minds. Thank you. I'm saying too much.
Okay, so I'm hearing two ancient questions here. The first one is the man in the mirror. I think it's a statement of fact, right? The man in the mirror. It starts with the man in the mirror, and then number two, the question is, can things that have always been will always be? I hope you get what I'm saying. But it's an ancient question. Basically, can things change? Can things that have always been, will they always be? Can things change? The healing has to start from someone. If it's not going to start with the older women, well, let it start with the younger women. If it's not going to start with the younger women, well, let it start with the older women. It has to start from somewhere, and healing has to happen. And I'm glad that the young women that are here, I think we can safely say we are starting that journey, because we are getting this information, we are getting this knowledge of how important it is. But Nobantu, I wanted us to discuss more about, because agriculture is a backbone on our continent. Of most economies here, a lot of our young people, a lot of our people survive from subsistence farming, and we know that, especially in Zimbabwe, some are trying to move into commercial farming, given the gap that was given by white commercial farmers living in the country and leaving a gap in that. I would like to hear some of the practices that are surrounding agriculture and agricultural sector that are negatively affecting women. I think this is something that I want to hear from young women here, because if we don't know where the problem is, we don't know what to fix. So let's start from there. What is the challenge? What is the problem surrounding the agricultural sector? And then maybe we can come up and talk about solutions around the agricultural sector. So I don't know, Nobu, what are your thoughts around agriculture and women, and then investing in women?
Thank you very much, Pastor Munche. I believe that women should be allowed data machinery and resources that are inclined to agriculture. As we can see, as we know, especially a country, my home country, Lesotho, agriculture is a backbone for our economy and for our way of life. A lot of people just have a crop outside their houses just for eating on a daily basis. So we need this knowledge to get on into women and not just males. I think another problem that we have is the fact that farming has been put as a job, as work that is specifically inclined for men and not for women. And that is a lot of stereotyped mentality that is still going on, especially in rural areas in today. So one of the things that we could try to work on is just distilling all of that and instilling the new knowledge that a woman is allowed to crop, a woman is allowed to farm. A woman can be a farmer. They can be a big farmer, and I mean greenhouses. To that level, to a level of greenhouses. A lot of women just do not have that knowledge. I think it's just the lack of it's just lack of knowledge. They just don't know that it's possible to do that. See, that's another problem I feel like we could solve. I think that it kind of serves us back to that point where we are going into rural areas and try to instill this knowledge into young girls and older women, because even the older women are still unaware that they can actually be as big as they want to, even at that old age. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, very important. You've raised two major issues there. And it's true what you have said. In most cases, when someone talks about a farmer, and mainly to be specific, commercial farmer, we have an image of a man in our heads. And it's usually a man who's wearing a farmer's shoe, he's wearing their khakis, and it's usually a white man. When we talk about a commercial farmer, it's usually a white man in their khakis and the khaki short, brown socks, and a farmer's shoe. And that is a depiction, a reflection of what is actually, or what has been actually happening in that sector. If you go to Zambia today, commercial farmer is a white male who is actually doing the farming. They left Zimbabwe, they went to places like Zambia, and very important. And then number two, a lot of our women, what you have mentioned, Nobantu, is they are not educated in farming. That's why it is at subsistence level. We are not educated to be able to do it at a larger scale, at a commercial level, to be able to be gainfully employed through it. Very important things that are happening in our community, which you have highlighted. So I'd like to hear more of these things. What are the things that are happening in the agricultural sector that are disadvantaging our women? I'd like to hear from the women and the boys that are here. I can see Praise Sheet has got a hand up. Praise, kindly unmute and let us identify some of these challenges in the agricultural sector. We have 5 minutes to go, so we need to do this quickly.
Hello, good day, Pastor Munashe.
Good day.
So I was thinking that to begin with, I think that women have like limited access to lands. Before we even get to the point of where we are being taught on how to do agriculture and all that, I think we have limited access to land ownership and control, like compared to the men in this entire like world. So this is something that's actually like restricting us from doing this agriculture thing to like our very own capabilities. And then we also like speaking on that limited access to land, that's like unequal access to resources, right? So so we don't have essential resources such as inputs, we want fertilizers, we want seeds, and even the technologies and the extension of the services that we need to be able to do agriculture. So this hinders like our productivity and the competitiveness in agriculture for us as women. And we have the lack of decision-making power, because it's always something like we are frequently excluded for making the decision to be able to come up with something that makes sense maybe in this agriculture sector, and they just like women can't do this, women can't do that. I think it's one of the things that's restricting us from being able to be productive in agriculture.
Absolutely, very important. The issue, the land question. Yes, we took the land and we said, yes, the land has to be given to Black people. And in South Africa, we know that there are some people who are fighting for that as well. But which Black people is it going to? It's going to males. It's not going to the girl child. It's not going to the female. To the women in Africa. And we know that this issue started even during the time of Moses up until today, the learned question. We have to, because it takes away control from our women. It takes away the ability of making decision over a land that you don't have. If a husband dies or if their father dies, we know that most women are losing their land to their male counterparts, which are relatives in most cases. So these are the issues that we are dealing with. So in the next 3 minutes, I would like to hear from you with all these things that we have identified. What can be the solution? What are our solutions to this so that we ensure that we invest in our girls, we invest in our men, in our women when it comes to agriculture? I would like to hear from Panashe, and take notes. These are the discussions that we should go back home and have with our sabukus, and have with our parents, and have with our brothers, the decision makers. They have to know these things that we are talking about. Panashe, what are your thoughts? What
Thank you
can
very
be
much,
the
Pastor
solution?
Panashe. It's good to see you. I just want to comment on the issue of land. In terms of the accessibility, it's not only the girls that are disadvantaged, but you can see that even the youth in general, they don't have like access, both men and women. But one thing that I've actually noticed that is lacking is the lack of initiatives from the women. What are they doing to make sure that they're competent enough so that when they're going to apply for land, what is it? How are they going to be given land based on what criteria? Like, for example,
I'll stop you right there. I'll stop you right there, Panashe, just so that we don't continue with the conversation and miss this important part. So for us to be able to clearly break that down, we have to understand the context. This conversation is coming from a context where the communities that we are coming from, they have been patriarchal from time immemorial. So women have been disadvantaged since time immemorial. So those people who have been disadvantaged from time immemorial, you can't ask them what do they have to show for themselves for them to get access to something that they have always been denied. They have nothing to show for it. So the initiative for us to achieve equity and to achieve equality has to start here and now, and it has to be deliberate on what systems, what strategies, what policies we should put in place to allow for that to happen. Because you talked about competencies. They have been denied education for the longest time. They were the third citizens when it comes to education. So what competence are we talking about? So let us start and let us have this conversation with that context that we are not coming from a plain level ground. There is a part of us, and unfortunately, half of us, half of our community has been disadvantaged. So how do we level the playing field? I think you can continue, Panashe. I just needed to correct that.
Thank you very much, Pastor Mnashe. I really support what you've said, and I think you've cleared some things that I've mixed here. But I think we actually need to start, putting our voices in terms of policy making. That, for example, the same way at University of Zimbabwe, when we say for some programs, girls can enter that program at 10 points, are we also able also to do that for girls so that they can also get land regardless of what they're doing and where they're coming from? Thank you.
Absolutely. Very, very important. Very important what you have mentioned. Let us look at our policies. Do they favor? If I use the word favor, people would think of it in terms of favor, but the terms that I'm just trying to use here is the issues to do with gender equality and equity here, right? Given where we are coming from, as we put our policies together, how do we ensure that we achieve the equality that we intend to achieve and the equity? I would like 2 contributions before we can call it a day. How and what can we do to ensure that we correct the challenges we are facing in the agricultural sector? We talked about education. Earlier on, we talked about health. And now we are ending on a tip of agriculture. We talked also about our social standing in the communities when it comes to women versus men and how the society is treating our women. I'd like to hear from the people that are in here, what are your thoughts when it comes to solutions that we can bring in the agricultural sector to level the playing field? Before I go to Charity, what are your thoughts? I'll move on to Charity because of our time. Charity, what solutions can we bring to all the challenges that we have faced? There we go. You can unmute, Charity.
Okay. Adding on to what everyone has been saying, we as women also should want to do it. Like, we should be at the right place so that when the opportunities come, we don't look like we don't want them. I know of girls that don't want to hear anything about agriculture. Well, mainly because maybe, as we were saying, they're not educated enough of how it helps us, how it's more important, But also, some people just don't want to be educated about it. So firstly, before we talk about us getting land, us being in is the man, or in agriculture, also we should know what agriculture, we should be willing to know what agriculture is all about. Because I know people just want to be slave queens out there just eating, they don't want to do the dirty work. Girls, I know girls, they just want to be looking good. But I think they should understand where the money is coming from, the root, where the money is really coming from. So education really is important, and the women should accept the education. That way they can push it. We don't look for solutions, they will look for them themselves because they are willing to do it. I don't know if it makes sense.
Charity, you're talking about willingness from women, very important and very crucial to all the girls that are here. Do you also want this thing for yourself? Do you want to be on the decision making, the willpower? It's very important. I thought I saw a hand coming up, and someone, I think it's Semujati, who mentioned that it's important we educate the women from the chat box. And I think you meant that it's important we capacitate them with the training, with the education that they require for them to be able to move from subsistence to commercial farming, because most women are taking care of their families through subsistence farming. And you can just imagine if they can move to commercial farming, how that is going to look like. So education in agriculture, training in agricultural farming methods that will assist them. And Miss Ode talked about earlier on Higher Life Foundation going out to train people. And one of the things that we've been doing is training them from Putza. And I think it can be a transformative tool that women can use to move just from doing subsistence into commercial. Let us also engage in dialogue. I think it's important with the decision makers, current decision makers. I know that most current decision makers, when it comes to land, they are our sabukus, they are our chiefs in the rural areas that we are staying in. Let's go and meet them. Let's have conversations with them around women owning land and even the fair distribution of land that they have. It's very important. We have members of parliament who are sitting at decision-making tables. Let's engage them and let's have these conversations with them. And it's better if we can have more females sit in those member of parliament seats. I think it would be a better situation because, women will make decisions that considers women also. So it's very important and crucial for us to have these conversations and to encourage each other. I'm not saying go and start a political party. No, don't. I am saying that let us take our place wherever we find ourselves to be, and let us have this conversation that will allow us to put in place policies that will allow us to put in place legislations that will ensure that the playing field is level. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. I'll hand you over to Nobantu as we close this discussion.
Thank you very much, Pastor Nade. Thank you so much, everyone, for being into the conversation. Thank you for joining today's episode of Young and Dynamic. I would like to close off with a prayer first. Let's just bow our heads, just to say, thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for all this new knowledge that has been imparted. The mighty name of Christ will grow and change lives. That will happen. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Okay, guys, that is it for today. Hope the meeting next week. Please remember our Facebook, our YouTube channel. You should subscribe. Join us again next week for this meeting session. This is Y&D International Women. I love you and God bless. Bye.
Wotosairira semombe chachikondora chazvitungira